vlog with i6 RE GT. I walked in this morning and there was a white box on top of my dyno fan. It's for Alex Soto. So I opened it up and it actually happened to be some, he calls him his Instagram is stored in supercars. So he sent me a box of goodies with the hats, coffee cup, some keychains. I'm like, what a perfect day to rock the hat. I'm gonna tune your car, dude. So I'm gonna rock the hat for good luck. If it doesn't make power, I'm bringing the hat. Anyways, this is just a SR1000 package. So it's the Motec Turbo Kit Flex Fuel. I think about 1,000 horsepower, which is plenty for a roll drive car. We're gonna leave it roll drive for now until he decides to go up from there. So opening the week with this beauty, and then we're gonna spend most of this episode dressing a short block. Now what I mean by that is, like I told you guys, the short blocks are done by a machine shop, and then we do the cylinder heads and everything else. So quickly tune this puppy really quick, and then we'll get into some technical stuff. I do read the comments, and I noticed that you guys like the technical stuff. So I'm gonna spend this episode doing some technical stuff, technical video, and then we'll close up the vlog with Bader's Elite 1500 Huracan that David's working on today. That will probably be tuning Thursday, Friday. So good week of content. Oh yeah, the sound. I actually just mentioned to Alonzo, like, yo, what's up with the sound? Because the sound has been good. We got the right microphone and all that. However, it's been hot here and muggy in Southern California, so we have a lot of fans running everywhere. So the sound was due to the fans. So we'll turn the fans off for you guys. I was watching the vlog. Actually, funny story is Fridays. I have all my kids at the house, and we go out. Then we go home and do pizza. And I'm sitting there just like literally just dozing down. And my little boy Hendrix, he's cute. You know, he's adorable. It was like a proud moment for me. I'm sitting there, and he's got the control to the TV, and he's figured out how to hook the voice to search for things. So I'm sitting there, and he picks the voice, Daddy on YouTube Sheepy Race. And I look over, I'm like, what the hell? So he finds the new video. I didn't even know Alonzo uploaded. He's like, comes over, Dad, look it. I'll put your video on, Dad. So we watch the video, Dad. I'm like, thanks, dude. So I watched it with them. He loves watching them. And that's when I noticed the sound. He was like, Dad, I can't hear you talk, Dad. I'm like, I'll tell Alonzo. So.
I think maybe one of the injectors is unplugged, so he's gonna check it out real quick. On. Whatever that is on too.
We've done everything from like the non-plus model R8 to plus models, performance, standard Huracans, Evos, Performantes, and in the Lambos, the standard 610, the Evo, and the Performante, all in 3 engines. The Evo and the Performante are the same. A little difference is actually, you notice the difference. Like I know what an R8 Plus is gonna make at 7 pounds of boost. They probably make like 800 or so. This thing is 7.5 pounds, made, what was that, 930? Like, in the law, you can see it, right? The engine's just much more efficient. And so the GT, I'm going to assume, I haven't torn into one of these engines yet, is very similar to the Performante engine. The cylinder heads are different and it has a little bit bigger camshaft. Based off what I'm seeing here, I'm going to say that it's the same thing. So this thing 7.5 pounds of boost is making damn near 1,000 horsepower. So the cool thing is I don't have to give it much boost. Probably see 8.5 to make 1,000 horsepower, which is crazy. I mean, just think about that. 1,000 horsepower, 8 pounds of boost. Got Steve over here from SD Exhaust. He's gonna do aftermarket exhaust system, and then he's gonna give me the ECU, and I'm gonna pull the calibration and have it modified for off-road use only. Stuff we know how to do, but yeah, if we got Ferraris and McLarens, we can hook you up. So get that done for him real quick. There's freaking mosquitoes everywhere. Dude, I literally went outside that grill for 20 minutes yesterday. I had like 7 mosquito bites. Yo, mosquitoes are crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's this weather.
I was in my garage earlier.
I kept like
chasing them. Crazy right now.
So let's show you what else we got going on. Really quick. So as you guys know, I started Sheepy Race out of my garage selling parts, and that is what got me to evolve where I'm at, is essentially just selling parts. 4 or 5 years ago, we slowly transitioned, building cars, and it's been great. I love it. It's truly, it was a dream of mine. But I also have to do things that's going to be hopefully, maintainable for years. And so we've established and gathered an amazing audience, you guys, that happen to be into all types of cars. So we got some big changes happening in the next literally 30 days. One thing that I wanted to tackle this fall and winter is actually slow down cars and do more ship items. So with that being said, we know there's not a big market. Let me rephrase that. There's not a lot of you guys out there that want R8 and Huracan. Sorry, I keep slapping myself. R8 Huracans, and you guys work on my garage, but there's a huge VAG market. So as you guys know, we're Volkswagen guys now and Audis, and we know this platform very well. So Nick's got an RS3, and I'm like, dude, you know what, man? I see these things everywhere. I think it's time to make some parts for them. So right now what we're doing is actually discussing development of an intercooler. The guy he's talking to is actually our machinist. So we're going to, first and foremost, we're going to offer intercoolers, intakes, and downpipes. We know there's manufacturers out there that offer. Same thing when we jumped into Hondas, they're being built for 30 years. We have our own twist, we have our own flavor, our own customers. So I can design our intercooler this week. It'll be Billet end tanks, super ballin', and it'll be priced well as well. So be ready for a lot of production parts. I'm gonna tackle probably 3 different platforms, and just try to stay very busy with just developing and producing parts we can ship to you guys who install on the weekends and have fun and be a part of the Sheepy fam, right? I mean, we know how many people follow us and how many people love what we do, so if we could offer more and offer to you guys, and we all sing Kumbaya. Alright, so what's gonna happen here is we use what's called the CMD hardware, which essentially allows us to communicate with OEM ECUs on the bench. So it kind of looks a little old school, but it does the job. So what you do is essentially select the car. So this is going to be a bench. So you look at Ferrari, MAD17. Then I click help on that. And what that does is it takes me to the website. And it's good. I don't remember them by heart, but then it tells me what ECU pins to go to be able to get the readout. Now what we're doing here is I'm plugging directly into the ECU to pull the actual file off the ECU. Once you pull the file, then you open it in another software called WinOLS, which is an editing software, and then you can edit the OEM calibration. It's very different from Motec. It's crazy. Anyways, let me get to it. Now what that's gonna tell me is that every pin that we inserted is in the correct location. If you tried to read or write it with one of those pins in the wrong location, you're gonna fry that ECU. I've done it years ago when I first started doing this. Like, when did we start? 2018. So now as I identify it runs all its tests. I can show you guys this. So to run all its tests that it does, it tells you if it passes, etc., etc. Once it says okay in green, we're good to go. So then what you just do is read, and then I'll name it like Marcos OEM 488. So it's the OEM file for Marcos 488. So now what it'll do, it'll just start performing its. There's a reason why it's very expensive to calibrate OEM ECUs on like McLarens and 488s, F8s, etc. The liability and the risk to it is pretty high. You find one of these, the dealer doesn't have it on the shelf. They got to special order it. They cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. There's one time we did an Aventador, and what happened with the Aventador? Somehow it got water. I don't know. That shit was like $12,000. So the OEM ECU stuff is very crucial to making sure you follow each step and do it right, because there is no room for error. Like Motex, you could leave a sensor unplugged or something, or make a change and whatever, you could override it, right? But this kind of stuff is a little scary. So I sit here by myself quiet doing it with some lofty music. What do you call it?
Lo-fi.
Lo-fi. My girl's a school teacher, and she plays this kind of music in the background for her students. And one day she was at home cleaning. She's like, oh, that's what I play for my students. I'm like, I kind of like it. It's soothing. So now I play it at work. I took as many breaks as you did. God damn. Anyways, here you go, buddy. Plug it. Thank you. Thank you. It's done. Gotta load it. There we installed all the hardware. It's calibrated. Put it in, fire it up, and hear how loud it is. GT made off the dyno. Very impressed with these things. Engine's definitely something similar to a Performante or Evo, just because of the extra 80-ish, 100 it made over what they usually make. Ended up at 1089. Gonna leave it there. Off the lift. Off the dyno on the lift. So what we're doing now is just buttoning it all together, and I got David doing some HR lowering springs on it, so it gets a nice little height. And then we're gonna go ahead and wait for, we ordered a custom set of 1886 wheels for it, 3-piece 1920, so it looks really good, and also got toils on all 4 corners. Considering the car is rear-wheel drive, we want to put a little bit fatter tire. However, the factory rim is only a 10.5 inch wide, so you can't go wider than a 315 tire. So what we did is we have a 1886 making us a 12.5 inch wide rim, so we can put a 325 tire on it. 888 to be able to put that power down, and match the tire in the front, still be able to do what the GT was designed for, which is this kind of stuff. All right, so here we are. This is what we like to call our version 1 short block. So what version 1 is essentially what it is we don't sleeve the short blocks. Now, in motorsports, it's been a long time, aluminum blocks, people put iron sleeves on them, and that's just the thing that you do, you sleeve everything. However, these factory blocks, the coating on them and the factory castings withstand 2400 horsepower. Many people have done it, many people continue to do it. It's not like this is some magic trick that people are, that we're doing. It's not. We figured out, it's like the GTR, the Nissan GTR stuff. They started by sleeving them and then slowly went to just running factory blocks with pistons and rods because of the coating that the bores have. So what we use is IRP pistons and rods for these short blocks. Italian rods and pistons are made out of Italy. Mario's and Luigi's over there. So if you see here, this is this piston mimics a lot of the OEM stuff. The OEM's 12.5 compression. This is a 12-to-1, so we still keep the high compression because they're ethanol cars. And then we have the the nice rod with, it's a I-beam rod with a ARP rod bolt in it. The piston and rod combination we've been using since we started this program, and it's worked very, very well. So we haven't really showed the rotating assembly in the past, so before we started assembling this short block and cylinder heads, I really wanted to show you guys the pistons and talk about the pistons and rods that we use. On the sleeve stuff, when you do sleeve them, let's say a board does get damaged, you can't just fix that board. Then you gotta sleeve it. Factory bore is 84.5 millimeter. When you sleeve them, we actually drop it down a little bit just because inserting a steel sleeve, we can't keep the factory bore because then it thins out the water jacket too thin. So we drop down the board to an 83 millimeter, which I'm going to show you here. So this block is a billet block, but I'm still going to use it as an example because it has sleeves in it. So this is an 83 millimeter bore, and this is what they look like when they're sleeved. Okay. So if you see the difference here, there's no sleeves. It's just all one piece aluminum, versus this starts as a billet aluminum chunk. It's all cut out, then they press the sleeves in. Let's just factor out that it's billet. If we were to do a factory block of sleeves, this is how it would look, and it'd be small bore. Again, which is something everyone's been doing for years. Then if you are gonna ask, well, is sleeving better? The limitation is going to be the factory castings on the blocks, which people have already cracked them, and they're cracking them without sleeves. We don't sleeve unless the bore's damaged, or it's the only time we will sleeve, unless the board is damaged, and it's worked for us. Again, not that one program is better than the other, it's just what we have done. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just get all the timing components, as you guys see there. Anytime you do a new build, you always want to replace the chains and the guides because they do, it's metal, it stretches. The thing with the guides is very, very important is, see, it's all plastic. Well, when you have metal writing on plastic, it's gonna wear just like our shoes do, right? So we always replace every guide, every tensioner, every chain, all brand new. Just that way, it's just, we start fresh, we know it's all brand new. So what I'm gonna do now is just lay everything out and start prepping the IRP short block, and go from there. So we torqued the cam cap on bank 2. Tomorrow morning.
Can't bridge. It's only caffeine.
Oh yeah. Whatever. Same shit.
Proper terms. It's good.
I'll do bank 1 in the morning and then time it. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to be done by 12. I got Disneyland this weekend, fool. Happiest place on earth. Yeah, be honest with you, we've been dragging out this vlog. I was supposed to have this done today at 12. It's 2:30. So we're just gonna close it out. You guys have already seen me torque heads. You know what goes into it. I really just wanted to show you guys the short block stuff. It's a wrap. I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Stay safe, like and subscribe. Tell your tias they're thick ones, you know what I'm saying? By the time you're watching this, I'm probably in line at some ride at Disneyland with a smile like this because my 4-year-old wants to go to Disneyland. So, see you guys later.